My kart feels really powerful when I'm in it, but imagine being in the Formula 1 car. Must be very powerful, right?
From humble beginnings to the very top of the pinnacle of motorsport,
Lewis Hamilton takes the cheers from the crowd and his team and wins. Lewis Hamilton wins.
from being discriminated against to advocating for diversity, sustainability, and human rights, Lewis Hamilton has seen the full spectrum of success.
That's for all the kids out there who dream the impossible. You can do it too, man.
But what makes a hero story great and relatable is how they overcome adversity. And Sir Lewis's story is just that, from the very beginning. The young boy from Stevenage started karting from the age of 8, his father supporting him working multiple jobs.
I then picked up some other jobs, some odd jobs. One of them was dishwashing and one of them was putting up signboards for a local estate agent, which didn't pay much, but it all helped.
His talent and natural ability was obvious from the very beginning, and he very quickly gained the respect of his peers. It wasn't long until 1998, Ron Dennis offered Hamilton a role in the McLaren Mercedes Young Driver program at the age of 13. From then on, he went on to impress. And in 2007, he made his Formula One debut alongside the defending champion Fernando Alonso. Was a very strong year.
Lewis Hamilton wins! Surely the first of many.
Lewis narrowly missing the title to none other than Kimi Raikkonen and finishing tied on points with his teammate Fernando Alonso. This quickly set the stage for Hamilton. The next year saw him learn from the past mistakes and go up against Felipe Massa for Ferrari. He won his maiden World Championship in the last corner of the last lap in Interlagos, becoming the youngest world champion at the time at the age of 23.
Is that Glock going slowly?
It is, it's Glock! Oh my goodness me! Hamilton's back in position again! 1,100,000 local hearts sink in the grandstands. It's handed the place back to Hamilton. He comes through, and if I'm absolutely right, I'm sure that he is going to claim 5th place, which is all he needs to do to become the 2008 Formula One World Champion.
The following year saw changes in the regulations and an increasing competition.
Here we go! Here we go!
And from 2010 to 2013, it was a young Sebastian Vettel driving for Red Bull who dominated the sport, showing what can be done when man and machine work as one entity.
Sebastian Vettel, you are the world champion! The world champion, well done, enjoy it! You are the man!
It was also in 2013 when Niki Lauda had convinced Lewis to take a gamble and leave McLaren to join Mercedes, a less competitive team at the time, and try to build the team and win again as a Mercedes driver.
Barely sleep last night. It's quite an exciting day for us. The launch of the new car and to be new teammates with Nico. We were just saying how crazy it is because we used to be teammates back in 2000 when we were go-karting. So it's a dream for me to be back as his teammate.
This would later prove to be a match made in heaven. But while still in 2013, Lewis would have his first win for the team in the Hungarian Grand Prix.
Get in there, Lewis. Get in there. That's P1, man.
But Lewis was used to that. He had won a race in every season he had competed up until that point. The stage was set though. The next year saw the biggest regulations overhaul in the history of the sport, and one combination of team and driver would prove to be the best prepared to take on the challenge.
I think it's probably the most exciting season out of all the years I've probably been racing.
The competition was fierce, but the Mercedes W05 would be so dominant that Lewis and Nico would have the whole season to themselves to fight for the title. Nico would prove to be fast, and their friendship would be tested.
I mean, I gave the guy space. I don't really understand.
Absolutely unacceptable for race fast.
Coming Abu Dhabi, Lewis had won 11 out of the 19 races, making him the 2014 world champion.
It's not Rosberg, it's Lewis Hamilton, champion of the world in 2014.
Nico won 5 races himself as Mercedes set a precedent for the years to come. "2015 was much of the same. Lewis gelling with a car and bringing home another title, his third so far, and with 11 wins matching his previous record, this was another dominant season for Lewis and Mercedes. He left his rivals puzzled, hoping for a sniff of victory whenever Mercedes or Lewis had a rare slip-up. Sebastian Vettel, now driving for Ferrari, showed glimpses of his former glory days, and given a faster car, he still had the speed to go up against anyone.
Yes! Sì, ragazzi! Oh, mi senti? Mi senti? Grazie, grazie, grazie! Dai, forza Ferrari!
But it was one man who was starting to solve the puzzle.
Nico's going to be super quick, he's going to be super strong, and now I've got to make sure that I raise the level.
Formula One's back, everybody.
Nico Rosberg went above and beyond in 2016, sacrificing his mental health and personal life to beat his teammate. And so he did.
So it is time, and the third time here in Abu Dhabi for the duel in the desert, the title showdown at the final race of the season for Nico Rosberg. A world championship that once upon a time might have seemed a million miles away is now very much within his grasp. It's lights out and away we go.
The season went to a title decider in Abu Dhabi, and in a dramatic fashion, Nico did it. He beat Lewis.
He takes the championship 34 years after his father. It's like father, it's like son for the Rosbergs.
You know, it's a long year to then end up at the end and not get the result you want. It's definitely tough, but, you know, big congratulations to Nico because he did everything he had to do. I would just say, you know, congratulations and for him to enjoy it because I'm going to come and fight hard next year to take it back.
Lewis went into 2017 determined to avenge his loss, but Nico was out.
I want to take the opportunity to announce that I've decided to end my Formula One career.
The regulations were going under a big overhaul. Wider, faster cars, and the Mercedes were not the dominant force anymore.
Well, it's the fastest blast around the planet, and this year it's got even quicker. Welcome along to the 2017 Formula One World Championship.
Ferrari came out strong. Sebastian winning the first race of the season, trying to achieve his dream of emulating his hero, Michael Schumacher.
Sebastian Vettel starts off 2017 by winning the Australian Grand Prix.
Mercedes struggled for the first part of the season, with the car proving difficult to find the setup sweet spot. This year, according to his own admission, Lewis took a step up.
And it's hammer time.
And come the Mexico Grand Prix, Lewis would secure his 4th World Championship.
Hamilton has been formidable. He has been the force, and he crosses the line now to become the 4-time world champion. Lewis Hamilton does it in 2017.
Get in there, Lewis. Champion of the world.
Congratulations, 4-time world champions. Nicky Lewis, thank you, thank you, thank you. 4-time, thank you.
I'd like to say a big thanks to everyone in this team. What you've done the past couple of years is just remarkable, and I'm just so grateful for your hard work this year. God bless you.
First season in Formula One that we have had 2 4-time world champions starting on the same grid, and those 2 4-time world champions are going to finish 1 and 2 this afternoon. And like it was 12 months ago, it is Sebastian Vettel who comes home to win the Australian Grand Prix.
Grande ragazzi, grande gara.
2018 was the same story. Ferrari came out the block strong and bagging the early victories. But Lewis was relentless. He broke Sebastian, having dominant performances.
As in out of the race, Sebastian Vettel. He has been leading almost from start to finish, but now he's out of this race.
Such as in Germany, Sebastian's home race, where he won starting from 14th. And by round 19, he was a 5-time world champion.
As he rounds the final corner, it's high fives for Lewis Hamilton, a 5-time champion of the world.
The following year saw a change of the guard in the driver lineup, with 3 young rookies making their debut. Alex Albon, George Russell, and Lando Norris would later be at the forefront of the action. Alongside the other young drivers who had made their debut a bit earlier, Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen, who were already causing trouble up at the top, making names for themselves. But these were still Lewis's years. The challenge for Ferrari had faded, and the now mature and battle-hardened Lewis won his 6th world title.
Lewis Hamilton now only has Michael Schumacher ahead of him in terms of world championships won.
Get in there, Lewis. What a drive, mate, that is it. Champion of the world. You did it in style, mate. You did that in style.
Still we rise, guys. Still we rise.
The 2020 season was an evolution of the same regulations that had been in place since 2017. And for all those years, Mercedes had been setting the precedent. But their 2020 car, the W11, was truly the class of the field. 13 wins, 15 poles, 9 fastest laps, 12 front row lockouts, and 5 1-2 finishes across 17 races. The stats speak for themselves.
I can feel it in my bones and that.
Race 14, the Turkish Grand Prix, where in dramatic fashion, Lewis defied the odds, making an audacious strategy work and clinching his 7th world title. With 95 wins, 98 poles, and 7 world titles, Lewis Hamilton was statistically the most successful Formula One driver.
Get in there, Lewis.
Thank you so much, guys.
Woo! Woo! That's for all the kids out there who dream the impossible. You can do it too, man. I believe in you guys. Thank you so much, everyone, for your support.
Lewis, congratulations for the 7th title. I couldn't have done it better.
Thank you.
The FIA introduced some changes for the 2021 season aiming to equal the battlefields and increase competitiveness. And they did exactly that. The season started with a heated and controversial duel in the desert between Hamilton and Verstappen. The young Dutchman showing that he was not afraid to go up against anyone.
So we're taking the outside of the track.
And now, with an equal fast car, he was going to go all out.
Sir Lewis Hamilton, as he is now, crosses the line and wins the Bahrain Grand Prix. Max Verstappen and Red Bull come home to take second place.
That race set the stage for maybe the most iconic season of all time. Championship going back and forth between the two drivers, they ended up with the same amount of points going into Abu Dhabi.
Each has one hand on the championship trophy. Both have the opportunity to realise their dreams. It's lights out, away we go, and Hamilton gets a decent start and he's already ahead of Max Verstappen. Nicholas Latifi has crashed. That will be a safety car.
Much like the rest of the season, the race ended in controversy, as Michael Masi manipulated the regulations in the name of putting on a show.
Lapped cars to overtake the safety car. Is Verstappen far enough back? He's going to make the lunge down the inside. Hamilton sees it coming. It's a late lunge by Verstappen, who takes the lead of the race. They have shared a brilliant championship battle, but the championship can only be won by one, and it's going Dutch in 2021. Max Verstappen, for the first time ever, is champion of the world. Lewis Hamilton finishes in second place.
Wherever you stand on the matter, both drivers were deserving champions. But Lewis found himself second. The guard had changed. Max brought with him a whole different skill set that ultimately proved to be superior. The thing is, in Formula One, you're never guaranteed second chances. Every year, all scoreboards go back to zero. But this was no news to Lewis. In 2017, he did just that. He bounced back from a defeat to Nico Rosberg. And much like in 2017, 2022 saw a big regulation change, even bigger this time. Sadly, the parallels end here. The 37-year-old struggling to keep up with Max. And how can you blame him? Lewis had become the most successful driver in the history of his sport, a global icon. Maybe he wasn't as hungry anymore. He had nothing left to prove. And as of Mercedes, they really dropped the ball on this set of regulations. Hampered by all sorts of problems throughout preseason testing, and being one of the last teams to wrap their heads around these ground effect cars, Lewis went on to have the first winless season of his career, while Max and Red Bull dominated. Was that the beginning of the end for Lewis? Unfortunately, for 23 and 24, Max showed no signs of slowing down, with 2023 going down in history as the most dominant season for a team, Red Bull winning all but one race. And despite the championship being much closer in 2024, the competition didn't come from Mercedes. It was McLaren, Mercedes' customer team, who proved to be challengers.
Whoop whoop. Well done. Awesome. Not far behind the rest. It's getting exciting. I'm excited.
For these 3 seasons, Lewis managed 2 wins. One in the 2024 Belgian Grand Prix and an iconic 9th victory in his home race at Silverstone that same year.
We love you too, and you're always going to be part of that family. And if we can't win, you should win.
For 2025, Lewis didn't have a contract signed with Mercedes, and while the team made it clear it wanted to keep him, the 39-year-old has started to lose his faith in the team.
I'm just slow and same every weekend, so when you're always back where I am, it makes it very hard to be competing for, well, almost impossible pretty much to be competing for wins from there. So,
do you think there is some positives that you're able to take? Is there more
not particularly,
potential?
no.
For his potential final move, Lewis had one team on his mind.
Everybody's a Ferrari fan. Even if they're not, they are a Ferrari fan. Even if you go to the Mercedes guys, even if they say that, oh yeah, Mercedes is the greatest brand in the world, they are a Ferrari fan.
Allegedly, talks had taken place on several occasions between him and the Scuderia team.
And Lewis is coming with a huge experience, as you said, a huge experience of championship, of the background from Mercedes, or let's say certitude on himself, and this will help the team to continue to grow up and to do step by step and to improve step by step.
But even though Lewis will enter the team as a legend of the sport, winning his 8th world title won't be easy. His teammate showed that he has no problem beating even the most established of teammates. He has 6 years embedding himself with the team, he has everything to prove, and age is on his side. Competition from outside isn't light either. McLaren, Red Bull, Mercedes, and even Aston Martin will spearhead into the new seasons with talented lead drivers. Alonso, Norris, Russell, and of course Verstappen. All proven winners and perfectly capable of winning a championship given a good enough car. But as we have seen, if anyone can bounce back from adversity, it's Lewis Hamilton. Secure his elusive 8th title, will be the first in the history of the sport to do so, cementing his legacy as the greatest of all time.